scams and real estate transactions, they are very, very real. So tell us, are those types of scams still going on? What kind of scams are very, very common, and what do people need to do to avoid that? Because I cannot imagine wiring $475,000 to somewhere where I wasn't going to get it back.
They're still going on, and they're becoming more sophisticated in the way they do them. And they're almost so dumb that they go right into place like it's normal. If you really think about it, oh, that was a dumb thing to do. Generally, it's going to be either you or your buyer or your seller.
Okay.
And one of y'all has been phished and compromised. And so the scammer will watch. And so this is a common one that everybody knows of now, and they're really on high alert, and they should be, but then they just forget and don't pay attention. And so exactly what you're saying, like for example, we'll order a payoff,
Okay.
and the seller might get a copy of that payoff or ask us for it. But if we send it, which we don't like to send payoffs, even though it's their own payoff, somebody will intercept it. They'll change the last 4 digits. Let's say it's paying off to a big bank we know. This scammer will keep the same bank. They'll just change 4 digits of the account number because it's a different account number. You don't notice that. You don't notice that there's little black dots in there. And then they send it back because a lot of lenders still will fax stuff back. So they'll send it back to us in an email, but it looks like it came from a fax machine because of the way they write it, e-fax,
Yeah.
And so by the time you get it, we're the ones that most risk there because they're payoffs. The next step is the seller. So sellers, we want at the table, and we want them to fill out their wire instructions themselves. We don't fill it out for them, and then they sign it, and then we send it there. And then 2 hours later, we'll get an email from who appears to be the seller, but it's not the seller. And they're like, oh, send to a different bank. And we're like, no, you signed at the table. And so they try to catch you there. And that somehow works in different places. We, of course, are like, no. The theory was we'll send encrypted emails so that only they can get the email. Well, if you send an encrypted email and somebody's in their email, they just take it, delete it, because they get the encryption, which follows. They already get it, so it's like they never saw it. So instead of doing that now, we send it. It's called bot doc, but it's like texting. What's the safest, most secure thing you have? And that's texting. And so when we text it in a bot doc format, nobody can get into it. When the buyers want our wiring instructions, we're like, okay, I'm going to send it to you in a different technology, this bot doc. And then when you open the link, it'll get it to you, but I'm sending it to your phone. Mm-hmm. And so you have your phone in your hand. Yeah, okay, here it comes. And then they open it up. And so that's really what people should be doing, is getting it delivered and talking to the attorney's office. The problem is they don't know if they're talking to the attorney's office because the scammer will send them an email that says, oh, my number changed, call me here.
What do home sellers and what do home buyers need to do to avoid being scammed?
Ask them if whoever it is you're talking to, right? You've got to make sure you're talking to the settlement agent, the true settlement agent. Well, you have to start backwards to what number you're going to call. And so if I've given you a number, you go, wait a minute, I'm just going to call the main number. And you can look up the main number because nobody's going to go change our main number, right? And if they do, they've got to get into our website or whatever. You won't believe this. You remember those old cashier checks that used to come from Canada banks? Yeah. We got one of those the other day.
Oh, it was a scam, somebody trying to pass off a bank?
They were going to give it to us as earnest money. $113,000 earnest money. Will you deposit this? And then they turn around and I meant $12,000. Send me the rest back. That kind of thing.
Oh.
Simple, stupid, dumb scams. But back in the day, people would fall for that. So another one was where somebody came in and bought a house and was trying to buy a house. And they kept saying, we're going to send the money. And I mean, it was like a ridiculous amount of money coming from overseas or something. And it just went on for a while. And in the meantime, while they had everybody up in the air, they put some people in the house they didn't have any right to be. It's like breaking in, right? But now you got to go through the eviction. So if you get tied up with somebody, sometimes it's just so sticky, you can't hardly get out. It takes you a month.